You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. We were keeping an eye on two commitments over the weekend, two prospects, targets that were announcing their commitments over the weekend. And the Tigers split the pair. We knew how one of them was going to go. The one that had a lot of, we'll get to that in a second. The one that certainly had a lot of intrigue around it was Jonah Williams. Jonah Williams, the 5-star safety, the dual sports star out of Ball in Galveston. He was down to Texas, Texas A&M, LSU, USC, and Oregon, and ultimately it was the Texas Longhorns. We talked about it a bit on Friday, and the call that I had gotten Friday evening was that the young man was truly torn. It was a Texas-LSU battle to the end that felt like LSU had recruited him better on the baseball side. Texas recruited him better on the football side. There was a gap in the NIL offers, and it was significant. It was a 6-figure gap between what Texas offered and what LSU had put together, and LSU wasn't going to close that gap. So young guy had a decision to make, and I'm not saying it was all NIL, but when you get the ledger, put the line in the middle, and you're checking boxes, pros and cons, it came up Texas for him. So I think LSU certainly continues to recruit him until signing day to see how this may go. And I will also say I'm going to be very interested to see what happens in baseball, because I'll remind you, this is a young guy who, when you look to the summer 25 draft, he is a guy that projects as a first-rounder. He is Connor Griffin. He is a guy that is a power-hitting outfielder from the left side. He also pitches low mid-90s, 93, 95 is where he touches from the left side. He is a big dude that hits with power and runs like a deer. I mean, he is, when you're building a prospect, he is what a 5-tool prospect looks like. So if some MLB team picks him and offers him $5-6 million, is he going to turn that down? I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. But I'm going to be interested to see how that may play out. So for now, Jonah Williams is committed to Texas. We'll see if that sticks. We'll see if he shows up on campus. There are still questions there that remain. He says he wants to play both. And if he wants to play both, then he's got to come to school. But we'll see if the allure of the baseball draft maybe steers him away. But for now, Jonah Williams commits to Texas. LSU did, however, land a commitment on Saturday, and it was from Aiden Anding. And this was one that was anticipated. We thought that Aiden Anding would end up in the LSU class. He's a cornerback out of Ruston. And this is a big win for LSU because Aiden Anding was a guy who was leaning toward committing to Texas, didn't camp at LSU, as Shea Dixon told us, was leaning toward committing to Texas. When LSU gave him the committable offer, he pumped the brakes on that, came to the Bayou Splash, obviously, and man, LSU ramped it up, and now Aiden Anding is a member of LSU's class. He's right at 6 foot, 160 pounds. He's a consensus 3-star prospect with elite speed, who you certainly think, as he plays his senior year, that star rating is going to, and ranking is going to increase. I tell you all the time, I'm way more interested, not so much in star rating, right, whatever, as I am in the offers. And when you look at his offer list, it is long and distinguished. It is LSU and Texas and Arkansas, Miami, TCU, Southern Cal, Georgia Tech, Ole Miss, Baylor. Dude's got tons of offers from major programs. So that's always going to weigh heavily. Watch his highlight tape. He's a really impressive young guy. And if Corey Raymond wants him, I'm good with it. So when you look at LSU right now and how this class sort of builds now for the class of 2025, getting Aiden Anding aboard is now your third commitment for the third defensive back, third cornerback commit for the class of 2025. You've got the number one corner in the country in DJ Pickett. Last week, you flipped 4-star cornerback Cade Phillips, who's from Missouri City, which is the Houston area. You flipped him from Texas to LSU, and now you've got Aiden Anding in the boat. So, this is the roadmap that Corey Raymond laid out. Florida, Louisiana, East Texas. That's where They've consistently gone to get their cornerbacks under Corey Raymond, and they strike here again. The one guy at that position that still lingers out there that you'd see if they might be able to get on board would be Jabari Antoine from New Iberia and Westgate. Currently committed. He had been committed to LSU, decommitted. Now he's committed to Miami. We'll see as you get closer to signing day. But if he wants to be a part of this class, that's a guy you absolutely take. But for now, you've got 3 cornerbacks in this class. And in total, you're up to 25 commitments for the class of 2025. The 3rd-ranked class in the country, the 2nd-ranked class in the SEC. Only Ohio State and Alabama currently outpace LSU, with still a long way to go before signing day and a lot of prospects still to add. So a big get to get Aiden Anding from the state of Louisiana to stay home at a position of need. And when we look at Jonah Williams, yes, it stinks that you missed there. You would have loved to have been able to flex and say you got the number 1 quarterback, the number 1 running back, the number 1 cornerback, the number 1 safety. But you're right there in it to the end for Jonah Williams. And I'm still going to wait and see how this all plays out between now and signing day. A couple of things that I was told on Friday. Jonah Williams is expected to skip his senior season of baseball and enroll early at, presumably now, Texas. So that obviously means a couple things. If that means he would be enrolled to go through spring football with an eye, obviously, on being ready for the 2025 football season. But in skipping your senior season in baseball, that could lower his draft stock in the eyes of some scouts and teams who aren't then going to get to see him play his senior year. I'll remind you, a guy like Cade Arambidi, who's now on LSU's campus. Arambidi at this time a year ago was a projected first-round pick. Struggled at the plate his senior year, dropped down to be like kind of a top 100 guy, around 2-3 guy. He wanted a bigger number. He didn't get it, so he's on campus. So you see that sometimes. Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman broke his hand. As we know the story goes, said, if I'm not a first-round pick, don't take me. I'm not coming. Didn't go in round 1. Came to LSU. So what happens in your senior year does a lot of times matter where your draft position is going to be. And so for Jonah Williams now, potentially, seemingly not having a senior season in baseball, what does that mean in the eyes of big league scouts? We'll see how that all plays out. But it's just complex because with Jonah Williams, you're talking about a major prospect in 2 different sports. Like, he's a top 10 prospect in the country at any position in football, and he's a round 1 guy, could be the highest drafted high school position player in next summer's draft. So, I mean, the best way I've heard it from one scout is he's Jamal Adams on the football field and he's Connor Griffin on the baseball field. So, I mean, think about merging those 2 guys and all the different complicating factors that makes for his recruitment and his professional career at the next level. But just another one worth following. So you swing and miss on Jonah Williams. You land Aiden Anding. 50-50 on the weekend for LSU, but you got a big-time prospect there from the state of Louisiana, one you desperately wanted and you got from Texas, which is great, and Aiden Anding. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.